I learned that there's actually like this weird like millionaires club in California where they go out into the woods and they have a giant like owl statue that they do ceremonies around.
What the fuck?
That's like that video or the episode where in China, Illinois, where they all turn into animals.
Oh yeah, I
tenure.
was thinking more that that movie. It was supposed to be a documentary where it turns out to be like a millionaire murder club, and they all wore like a bull mask or something.
Yeah, I don't know if they actually murder, but they do go out and like make business. I think it was bigger in the 20th century.
I mean,
I don't know if it, I don't know if it's still going strong now, but that's what like the last stage of B-Rap Boys reminded me of. Like this is where all the modern like rich and famous people get invited to like a child beating competition.
Actually, none of those people were like modern famous people. They were all kind of washed up except for Hugh Jackman. He was the only one who shouldn't have been there.
He's like the ringleader who like gathers up like these D-list celebrities.
Yeah, it would have been great to have like, I don't know, Ryan Gosling or something in there, like just throwing down a handful of bills on a table, like a Vietnamese man sitting there counting it out, hands him a handful of tickets, and Andy Dick looks over his shoulder and sees the whole transaction. He's like, fucking fresh meat.
Yeah, all Andy Dick says is like, I'm responsible for getting Phil Hartman's wife back on cocaine. And then John Lovitz blows up out of the ceiling and drop kicks him in the chest, and he goes flying through the fucking arena and kills 3 kids.
Sir, I think you just pitched B-Rap Boys too.
Then somebody has to like come in between them and like, leave it in the ring, motherfuckers. Save it for the ring.
Yeah.
And Adam Sandler comes out and just goes, "Oh, did you guys see that?"
Yeah.
And then,
Shut the fuck up, Sandler.
I'll kill you. Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk comes out and just says, "Oh no, man, what's happening?"
Well, I think it's kind of like how like
Gilbert Gottfried has to like usher people out of that, like, leave him alone, leave him alone. I can't possibly rip my vocal cords enough to sound like Gilbert Gottfried.
Leave him alone.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I bet Penn Jillette would be invited at this, and he would just be like their. He'd be like their.
You guys, I don't drink anything, but I like to have sex a lot. That's my only vice. I don't drink or do drugs. I just have sex. With hookers. I'm okay with that.
Between pussy and this, I have no vice.
Teller is just silently sharpening a knife. Dude, this would be a good game. We got to get this shit on Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these celebrities.
B-Rap Boys 2, like 20, 30 years after the fact.
An arena fighter. No, it's like how the
God.
Guild of Calamitous Intent has like all these old musicians, but this is like, there's like a real world like evil group full of like washed up
old
quasi-celebrities.
Old SNL stars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All that cast members, the Penny
Danny
Arcade
Temporelli
guys.
fucking comes out with his Beaten Pete tattoo on and just starts like kicking everybody with his boots.
Chris Onstad is their sovereign.
Danny DeVito is openly throwing amphetamines into his mouth while he's watching the whole thing.
Between fistfuls. He's got fistfuls of just medicine and garbage.
Dude, fucking like Danny DeVito versus Toby Huss. You know what I mean? Like this would be a great game. This would be a fantastic game.
Oh
Like Bill
my
Clinton's
God.
there. He's like, he's not in the same wheelhouse. He just likes it.
Yeah.
He's not. He doesn't have to be there like everyone else. He's famous enough to be in the real
I mean,
Illuminati.
I'm not crazy about it, but it's
Yeah.
all right. It's something to do on a Friday night.
This is more my speed than the real Illuminati meetings.
You don't really.
And we just, there's no bullshitting around it. We just call it Millionaire Murder Club.
Yeah. Bill Clinton shows up. He's like, you really never get to see Roseanne beating the shit out of Christina Miller, anywhere else in the world.
Not since I was in the Oval Office, at least.
Yeah, just for a gaff, they have Betty White officiating.
Betty White she comes out and she says, first up, it's Mr. Ed the horse versus so-and-so. And then she just says something.
Versus the third lassie.
The fifth Mr. Ed versus the seventh Lassie.
And then they just bring out 2 boxes of skeletons.
Oh, God. And like just the crowd goes ape shit, and like Danny DeVito's like ripping the skeleton apart.
They have some sort of MythBusters device ready to launch the piles of bones at each other, and everybody's like shooting craps and like laying down bets on which one's going to have the most whole bones remaining.
Hey, the MythBusters are there.
Yeah.
Is their show still on?
Well, how do you think the machines got put together?
Their show's done.
Yeah,
but
they're building Mount Gory.
They still have tested on YouTube, so that's where it shows up. That's how you get clips of it and get the whole thing released. You get some wind of it. Oh yeah, and then they start like a Patreon where you can buy your way into watching uncensored video.
Yeah, it's like that Akewood strip where if you type in "show me the best thing you got" into eBay, it like inducts you into a secret like alternate eBay platinum. So it's like that on Patreon, but you have to type in something really fucked, and it's like you. You have taken the first step to entering shitty Illuminati.
Yeah, looking for the Supreme.
Millionaire Murder Club. And then
that's what Kel's been up to. Keenan got back on SNL, so he's sort of in the public eye, but Kel, not a word. He's probably like lying in pieces on the battleground floor.
He went through a phase where he got really religious, and then he turned tail a full 180, and this is his shtick now. He's like a fucking king of the ring, a savage throat biter.
He's the announcer.
I like to think that Mike Judge shows up every so often just to get some ideas.
He's out there just a blood-soaked face, still screaming, "I put the screw in the tuna."
He says that as he like punches someone with like a screw between his fingers. Boom!
Yeah.
I put a screw in you.
Okay. Question though, do they fight other celebrities or do they bring people in to murder them?
I think
well,
they can bring
obviously,
in
by what
outside.
we saw in B-Rat Boys, it's sacrifices.
Yes, definitely.
The sacrificial lamb. They're still the cream of the cream, cream of the crop as far as plebeians are considered.
Yeah.
But
they entice in wayward youths, I think, is obviously what was happening.
Yeah, it's as you saw in Django Unchained. It's Mandingo fighting. It's the best of the nobodies.
It's like, I mean, it's probably hard going for them since the crack epidemic is over. Like, that was the height of the 90s. So they had a lot to work with. Nowadays, it's probably a little tougher, but they got the internet. They got 4chan.
Yep.
4chan's probably actually like their headquarters
The
website.
power, the depths of human depravity and inventiveness all come together from across the world.
They've been having a hard time this year since like Donald Trump's busy campaigning. He's not there.
Oh, actually, you know what's funny? Did you know that Donald Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Well,
so
I
if
didn't
he
know
becomes-
that, but I know
If
he was
he becomes
involved.
president, then he'll be the only president to ever have gotten
Yeah,
a
he'll
championship in the WWE.
he will have trumped Jesse Ventura just by the highest margin that he can.
Yep.
But he won't be the first president to have been in the B-Rat Boys death worshipping cult.
I think it still comes down to like we are hitting Mad Max levels of Congress and politics in general. Like we started with Jesse Ventura, then we moved to fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then we're going to go to Trump, and it's going to be a joke. But then we are going to have the next fucking Ultimate Warrior type, and he is going to be our Emperor God King who promises to physically crush crime, ISIS, and poverty inexplicably with his bare fucking hands.
I'm trying to pay attention, but like the name Jesse Ventura, I don't follow politics that closely, caveat, but like the only mental image in my mind is Ace Ventura. And I know that's not the right thing.
No, he was a wrestler who turned he was like the governor of Michigan?
Minnesota. I think.
Minnesota.
It was one of those states that doesnesn't matter. Sorry. If you're from
Yeah,
there.
and everybody like it wasn't that big of a crazy deal. They were just like, "Huh, did you know that the governor used to wrestle?" "Oh yeah, I think I saw an episode or something." And they just let it pass, and then they were like, "Fucking Jesse can run Minnesota. We can get Arnold in California. Who gives a shit?"
Thus began the domino effect that ended the world.
Yeah, when we are literally voting on people with names like the Humongous, that's when we know that we're about to go over the tipping point.
Well, we weren't voting, but yeah.
I meant the collective we.
The royal we.
The villain that is man.
Well, I think that's good enough.
Well, that's enough talking about B-Rat Boys. It sure got the juices flowing.